What is going on, Champion Squad? It is your boy Sultan. Welcome faces back to another Apex Legends video. Today I'll be showing you guys how to avoid getting pushed and tips to shut down aggressive players. Thank you for joining me, and let's get into the video. Are you having trouble holding your ground and just seem to be ran through by aggressive players? Well, there are many factors on being able to suppress aggro enemies. So today I'll be going over 5 tips to help stop aggressive players and avoid getting pushed. So be sure to stick around. If you're new here, subscribe and join the Champion Squad, where you'll find some of the best Apex tips and tricks to make you an even better player. Now let's get into some valid ways to help avoid getting pushed. Alright Legends, this video will be aimed to help you hold your ground until you can become the aggressor in a gunfight situation. While fighting off enemies, holding your ground, it's also extremely important to be able to push and finish enemy squads. With that said, let's get right into the first tip I have, which is team positioning at different angles. We all know how important it is to stick close to your teammates during a hectic gunfight, but it's also crucial to have more than one angle covered during a gunfight. A lot of mistakes I see during team fights is where players position themselves right on top of each other. While this can be beneficial in some situations, most of the time this is what ends up getting you killed, since you're all trying to cover from the same angle. The key to dominating gunfights as a team is by limiting the amount of intel the enemy team has on you. So instead of your whole team huddling behind the same cover, try staying somewhat close to each other but at different locations. This lets you cover enemy pushes from different angles and resist the enemies to full send one location. Positioning at different angles as a team will force the enemies to try and keep track of multiple gunfight angles instead of just one location. This ultimately limits the amount of approaches the enemy team can make on you during a fight and will increase the chances of making a mistake by pushing a wrong angle. Okay champs, now let's get into the second tip I have, which is to constantly check your teammates' health. With how simple this is, most times it can be overlooked. Being a selfish player and only being cautious of your own health is what most times can get your squad eliminated one by one. However, by frequently checking how much health your teammates have will help you understand who is going to need some backup during the gunfight. If you have full health and armor while noticing that one of your teammates gets cracked for a decent amount of damage, try and assist fire in their direction to relieve some pressure for them to get some heals off. Now you don't have to wait until they have fully healed to focus in your direction. Most times it's just helping them out until they can get a battery or a medkit off. So about 5 to 6 seconds worth of focusing fire in their direction will be fine. Doing this will limit an aggressive push by the enemy team, since most players love to push you when they have one of your teammates either knocked or very weakened. So focus fire on whoever is most vulnerable on your team, and it can easily prevent the enemies from getting aggressive and pushing. Now let's get into the third tip I have, which is to distract when a teammate is downed. Like I previously mentioned, most times the enemies get aggressive is when they have a knock on your team. The most effective way to stop this aggression is to expose yourself and take some damage. If you're next to a down teammate and your other teammate is going for a revive, you must be able to relieve the pressure by sending shots and taking some damage. Otherwise, hiding while your teammate is going for a revive will easily get your whole team killed. This is another major mistake I see when playing. You have to be on the scene and ready to defend while your teammate is trying to get the revive. Even if covering fire is what ends up getting you knocked, you made a successful sacrifice for your other teammates to stay alive. The goal in this type of situation is being able to try and give a fair fight for your teammates, so if you are able to take down one while getting knocked, you've then turned the situation into a 2v2 gunfight. This will for sure give you a better chance of your team winning the situation. Alright Legends, and now let's get into the fourth tip I have, which is to use thermites to barricade off entry points. I've mentioned in the past how throwables are extremely effective to use when going into a gunfight, but thermites in specific are a complete game changer to block off doorways or entry points that enemies have on you. So instead of wasting all of your throwables as an offensive play, try saving a few thermites to use in a defensive manner. Now I say thermites in specific because they last the longest and create a small wall of cover and vision disruption. You can use this to your advantage by blocking off areas so the enemies won't be able to easily push your direction. This can definitely spare some time to heal up or get a quick revive if needed. Also keep in mind, if the enemy decides to push through a thermite grenade, their shields will immediately deplete, dealing a good 50 to 100 damage based on how long they stand on the thermite grenade. So don't freak out if someone decides to push through your barricade. Most times you can easily take them down since they won't be full HP, and the burn over time effect will distort some of their vision. And finally guys, moving on to the fifth and final tip I have to stop aggressive players is by locking down an area with cover. Now this can be any place such as a building, house, or high ground. Holding such a dominant position on the map will force aggressive players to rethink about pushing so headlessly. Now of course, while holding down these kinds of positions, cause Caustic and Watson are the two best legends for holding it down since they are support legends. However, there is a big debate on who you should use, so leave a comment down below if you prefer Caustic or Watson for holding down a position, and give one reason as to why. For me, I think Caustic has the upper hand since the gas stays on the map for an extended period of time, and you get traps frequently. But it's definitely situational, so I'm curious as to what you guys think. But again, I can't stress enough how important it is to lock down a building rather than staying outside in the open. This forces close range gunfights and makes it much easier for you to get a knock since you can pre-aim entry points. But if you get caught in the open against a good team, they will most likely push you like madmen. So keeping the tips from the beginning of the video in mind will definitely help assist on relieving the pressure off aggressive players. Nevertheless, thank you for spending a couple minutes every day with me. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like rating. It is always appreciated. Also, don't forget to subscribe and join the champion squad. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, this has been boy Sultan. I'm signing off. Peace.